Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Somers Sports Broadcast. Today we're bringing to you Season 4, Episode 3, and we'll get started with our usual Somers Sports recap, and Chris is going to take us away on that.
Varsity football won versus Harrison 40-7.
That was a great game. We did that on our YouTube channel. Go check it out if you haven't already.
Up next, we had Varsity Boys Soccer lost against Byram Hills 1-0.
And then Varsity Girls Soccer won versus Brewster 5-1.
Varsity field hockey lost to Ketchum 2-1.
And then, unfortunately, Varsity Field Hockey lost to Carmel again 1-0.
Let's talk about the Somers football game versus Carmel on Friday. Brandon, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, I think Somers is going to have another high-scoring game. Coach DeMatteo mentioned to us already that Somers doesn't play Carmel often. They haven't played Carmel in recent years, he believes. So not too sure how Somers is going to do defensively. We know I think offensively they're going to do well, but defensively they haven't seen this team for quite a while now. Not sure of the exact amount of years that they haven't played, but I think it's going to be 42-14.
I think looking at Carmel's record right now, they're 1-2. They haven't been scoring much, and their defense has been letting up a ton of points. That's why I think Somers is going to get a whopping 47 points and holding them to only 6 points. 47-6 Somers.
I agree with you guys that Somers is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be by that big of a amount. I think it's going to be 31-14 Somers.
Okay, we'll see tomorrow night.
So now we get a chance to talk to Coach DeMatteo. We get to see how we're doing now, what we're looking forward to, and how everything's going.
Today we're here with Coach DeMatteo, Somers varsity football head coach. We're going to talk a little bit about mid-season mark. We're at that point now. Last week, week 4, was about the midpoint for the regular season. So let's get us started. How would you describe the team's progression, especially in these first few games?
Yeah, this has been a kind of a new beginning to the season for us. We had a very difficult early on schedule that, we dropped one to Iona, which was very disappointing, and then the Rye one was even more disappointing in terms of the way we played. So, making a little bit of a comeback with practice habits and getting healthy. We were a little banged up, and we feel we're in a good spot right now. A 3-game winning streak, coming home, playing our second home game, even though it's week 5. So we feel, a nice opportunity to play in front of our fans and our community on youth night, and even though we're still a little dinged up, we're getting guys healthy, and we feel good about the second half of the regular season.
Nice. And I guess a little bit about your coaching style. Can you describe it for us, and how does it benefit the team?
The coaching style that we have, right? So we're a very large staff of paid employees as well as volunteers, 8 guys, and we very much coach them like tough love, for lack of a better term. We want to make sure that they are held accountable when things don't go the way that they're supposed to. And we feel that is most like the way they're going to be dealt with in their life, right? High school football, obviously we want to win football games. It's very important, but we want to make sure that the young men that decide to be a part of our program learn discipline and accountability and time management and how to work with others and things of that nature. So we definitely, we'll have a rough and tough style of coaching. And when kids do things right, we want to be the first to cheer for them. But when kids do things wrong, we want to make sure that we're correcting them in the right way.
And what's your favorite part about coaching?
I mean, obviously, I love the X's and O's, but I really, I love the similarities between football and what goes on as you become a young adult. Like, there's so many things that are the same. There's only one game a week, similar to the way you work all week and then you get paid. At the end of the week for your work. Practice is extremely important, so you learn work ethic, you learn how to work with other people, you learn how to work with people that you may not necessarily like. If you're going to work towards a common goal and achieve great things on a team level, you need to be able to mesh with people that have different interests than you. And you learn at a young age how to kind of look up to people that you want to emulate if and when you want to try and be a leader one day.
And with I guess a lot of success and also trying to mold players and all the community aspects, do you feel any pressure, especially compared to results the team has had previous years? Any pressure this season?
There's always pressure, but it's not something that, I really harp on. That's a big conversation that we have with our kids, right? There's always going to be pressure, right? You have pressure to pay the mortgage. You got pressure if, your girlfriend breaks up with you. You got pressure if you have a big test. So pressure's pressure, and we learn to deal with that through preparation. Sometimes those feelings go away when you're prepared. So we buy into our preparation. We feel that there's nobody that prepares like us. So even though, we're staring down all these, expectations from the town and other people in the section of, being the favorite to win it again before we lost to Rye and still being in that conversation, we deal with that pressure by just practicing hard and taking care of the little things. And we feel that if we take care of the little things, the big things will fall into place.
That's great.
Yeah, and then looking at the second half of your schedule, is there an opponent in that second half that you're a little concerned to play or that you're specifically preparing more for?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's Carmel, it's Brewster, it's Lakeland. It's 3 league games. So even though the front end of the schedule had a little bit more hype, this part of the schedule is more important. The loss to Iona and Rye, a lot of people don't realize, means nothing to where we're seated in the playoffs. The big games, and even the Harrison games, crossover. So this is really the meat of our schedule where we feel we need to take care of business. Our goal right now is to win our league and to get the number 1 seed and have the opportunity to host 2 playoff games for our seniors and for our community, because out of our 8-game regular season schedule, we only had 3. We're only going to have 3 home games. So if we can host 2 playoff games, that'll even that out. So that's our goal right now. And to achieve that goal, we need to take care of business these next 3 weeks against tough league opponents.
For sure. And I guess just to play with that, like, what do the results so far, like, what do they mean to you? How does that, like, affect?
The Iona game was something that I was very disappointed in because I felt the score should not have been what it was. We were making a push in the third quarter to potentially make it a 28-14 game. And then, 2 freak plays happened, an interception on a screen and a safety. But we kept them scoreless on the offensive side of the ball in the second half. So I really felt that we've played them better than anyone else has this past year. They're killing everybody. So that's a wash, right? It is what it is. It was a good experience for our kids, and I felt we got better. The Rye game was very disappointing. It was the first time in 5 years I felt like we just didn't play to the standard of what we are. And since then, we've just been getting better. We've been duct taped together in some regard. Dean is still, dealing with some issues. Ben Brennickmeyer's hurt, playing injured. Nate Mitchell's playing injured. Cameron Violante's injured. Cooper Sternberg's injured. Sean Donnelly's injured. We have a lot of guys that are dealing with stuff. So our goal is to try and get healthy. But with the last 3 weeks, I felt we've made tremendous strides to achieve the goals that we've set forth to do.
All right.
Yeah, and then after the Mayapack game, we talked to Tristan Gleason. He was telling us about how the whole community was cheering on this team and how it feels great to win in front of them. And how do you believe that the support from the Somers community plays into this?
Oh, it plays that. It's awesome. It's part of the reason why I wanted to come back here. After I graduated, and even Kevin Devaney said it in one of his little hype videos for the Iona game. He said that Somers is the state's most crazed football town, which is, to me, it's a compliment. I think that's really cool. The crowds that we played in front of these past few weeks have been tremendous, and we expect a huge one Friday night with it being youth night. Over 400 kids just playing the sport of football on the boys and girls side of it, and now including every other fall sport, which is a great move. The place should be packed, and that's a great experience for the kids because that's pressure in itself, just being able to do things in front of a lot of people, and it makes it fun. Like, no one wants to do something on this level in front of 10 people, so it's really cool. So I'm really excited to hopefully put a great effort forth in front of our community Friday night, and to really put our stamp on the second half of the season.
For sure. And have you started to look ahead towards playoffs or anything? Try to plan for it, maybe who you might go up against, any strategies there?
So these last 3 weeks are league opponents for both sides. So there's a lot of things that can still play out. So yeah, obviously we're always going to take a look at the big picture. But there's some big games coming up that are going to decide a lot. Yorktown plays Mayapack this week, which is a huge game. Us and Carmel is a huge game in terms of whoever wins and loses and the seedings that come because of that. On the other side of the bracket, Clarkstown North still has to play Harrison. So that's a big one in terms of seeding over there. We would cross over. Let's say we do take care of business and we're the 1 seed. We would cross over with the 4 from the other side. So the 2 on our side would be to the 1 on their side. So, like, if Mayapac's the 2, we won't see them until the finals if we both win out. So there's a lot of moving parts. So we have our eyes on it. We know the games that matter. It's really about just trying to collect film and be prepared from a data standpoint when we do get the games announced. So we try to stay 2 weeks ahead of it. But right now, it's still about a week or two too early for us to really map that out.
That's great.
I think that's all we have for you. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, always a pleasure,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
Good
Anytime.
luck
Thank you.
tomorrow and with the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. Always appreciate the effort and the work. You're doing a tremendous job. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now me and Chris are going to talk a little bit about the MLB postseason so far. So, Chris, why don't you get us started with the AL side of things?
So the Tigers won 2-1 versus the Guardians. The Yankees won 2-1 versus the Red Sox. And now the Mariners are leading the Tigers 2-1, and the same thing with the Blue Jays leading the Yankees 2-1.
Yeah, moving on to the NL side here, we had the Reds and the Dodgers in the wild card round. The Reds 6 seed, Dodgers the 3 seed this year. And the Dodgers won that series 2-0, sweeping the Reds. They're going to advance to the NLDS, where they are currently leading the Phillies 2-0. This episode, just note, recorded October 8th before the games, so we're a day late with this portion, but that's all right. You guys will know what happened already. Continuing on, the Padres playing the Cubs, the 5 and 4 seed, and the Cubs won, advancing to the NLDS as well, 2-1. They went all the way to Game 3. The Cubs currently playing Milwaukee Brewers. Then Milwaukee is leading that 2-0.
Now let's talk about the MLB postseason. Who do you think's gonna win the World Series?
Yeah, so for this, we're going to start at the Championship Series. I'm going to start on the AL side. So tonight, we have Game 4 between both of these matchups, the Tigers and the Mariners. I think the Mariners are going to come away with it. And then down to Yankees and Blue Jays, the 1 seed and the 4 seed, which they did have the same record, but because of the way the standings fell in the end, the Yankees all the way down the 4 seed. I think the Yankees, I think they have a pretty good shot with winning Game 4. They have Schlittler on the mound. He pitched amazing. 8 innings, 12 strikeouts, no walks, no earned runs. So if he can perform similarly to that, I think the Yankees have no problem advancing to Game 5. But historically this year, the Yankees have not been able to win in Toronto. That's where Game 5 is going to be. Most likely, if the Yankees get there, it would be Fried pitching for the Yankees. But I think ultimately, when they get to Game 5, the Jays are going to win because the Yankees simply can't figure it out in Toronto. So I have the Jays and the Mariners will be in the ALCS. I have the Jays advancing to the World Series there and heading over to the NL side with the Dodgers against the Phillies. Dodgers, they're up 2-0. I like their chances. By the time this comes out, you'll already know if they're going to Game 4 or if the Dodgers are advancing. But I think the Dodgers are going to sweep and that they're going to advance to the NLCS. I think they will also play the Cubs. I can see the Cubs, they come back. They're down 2-0. They're facing the sweep. But I think they can really pull it together here and knock the Brewers out. Underdog situation there. So Dodgers, Brewers for your NLCS, and I think the Dodgers are going to be returning to the World Series. So it'll be Dodgers versus Toronto. And I don't think the Dodgers get it done this year. I think Toronto is going to be your World Series champions.
I'll go next. I'm thinking the Yankees are going to win Game 4 versus the Blue Jays since it's going to be a bullpen game for the Blue Jays. Then Game 5, I think that's going to be a closer one. As Brandon said, the Yankees haven't been that good in Toronto versus the Blue Jays, but I still think they might win. So I'm going to go with the Yankees winning the divisional round versus the Blue Jays. And the Tigers versus Mariners, I got the Mariners winning that. And to finish off the ALCS, I'm going to go with the Yankees. Now in the NL, Dodgers versus Phillies, I'm going to say Dodgers are going to win that. And then under that, it's going to be Cubs versus Brewers. I think the Brewers will sweep the Cubs and go to the NLCS. So now it's Dodgers, Brewers. I got the Brewers winning that. So now it's Yankees, Brewers in the World Series. And I think it's going to be a close one, but the Yankees are going to win in 6. What about you, Cooper?
So, not knowing much about baseball, I do see the Jays leading the Yankees up right now, and they're kind of pulling it together. They're playing really good in the first few games. I think the Jays are going to win this next one, take on the next standing. Mariners are leading right now. Looks like the Mariners are going to take the spot. I actually think the Phillies are going to come back. They've had a good season prior to the playoffs, and I'm hoping and thinking that they're going to come back and win this 3-2. And then with Milwaukee leading 2-0, it looks like an unfortunate sweep. So I'm going to go with the Brewers there, and there's our standings. So we got the Toronto Jays beating the Mariners, and in the ALCS we got the Brewers beating the Phillies, and then I think the Brewers are going to take it home in the championship. Now we got the AL MVP race. Who does everyone got? You got Judge or Raleigh, and why?
Yeah, I'll start. My pick is going to be Judge, and there's probably a little bias involved in my opinion here. But overall, he has better stats. I think it could have been questionable if Raleigh broke Judge's AL home run record, 62, I believe. I understand that historically catchers haven't been as good of hitters as outfielders, infielders. So that could be weighing in a little bit there. But both these players are some of the top at their position while they're on defense as well. So I think that kind of balances out when you factor in the position.
Thank you, Brandon. I kind of lean Raleigh here. Looking at the internet a little bit, I've seen that his sheer power, which is 60 HR, and being a catcher give him a higher positional value and a more unique impact, I guess, than Judge's monster hitting season. I'm going with Raleigh here.
I'm going to go with Judge. Even though Riley's a catcher and doing good defensively, offensively, Judge is leading the AL in every single stat except the home run, which Riley has.
All right. Nice predictions. We got some different predictions going around there. So now we're going to shift over to the NFL, and we're going to take the time to each pick 2 games, and we're going to recap those games. We're picking from both week 4 and 5 here, as changing our episode scheduling a little bit on our side, so we missed a week there. I'll start us off. My first game, Texans-Ravens. Texans won this game 44-10. So the Texans, they absolutely dominated this game. They forced multiple turnovers. They weren't allowing the Baltimore offense to get going. Their offense themselves was balanced. Their defense and absolutely crushed Lamar Jackson's returning crew. My second game, Bucs-Seahawks. Bucs won that game 38-35 in a shootout. Mayfield, he rallied Tampa with his clutch throws, and the deciding play that game was a late interception by Levante David that set up the game-winning field goal.
Thank you, Brandon. Next up, I have the Dolphins against the Panthers. Here we have the Dolphins started strong with 2 Tua Tagovailoa touchdown passes to Devon Achane and Waller, jumping off to 17-0 in the start. However, the Panthers stormed back behind with Rico Dowdle's 206 rushing yards and Bryce Young's late touchdown pass to Mitchell Evans. Despite a final drive attempted by Miami, a key sack and penalty ended their chances. It was really devastating as a Dolphins fan. The Panthers completed the comeback to win 27-24, leaving the Dolphins stunned after a blowout. Man, the Dolphins keep finding ways to lose.
And Chris.
So, The Titans won versus the Cardinals 22-21 off of many costly plays by the Cardinals, like the DeMatteo fumble right before he ran into the end zone and a fumble that Calvin Ridley, or an interception that led to a fumble by the person who intercepted it, and Calvin Ridley picked it up in the end zone for a touchdown. And then in the Chiefs-Jaguars game, the Jaguars upset the Chiefs 31-28. Now with the NFL Week 6 predictions, what do you think, Cooper?
So I got the Broncos and the Jets. I think the Jets have been playing very poorly. Right now they're 0-5, I think. And the Broncos have been doing pretty well. I think the Broncos are going to take the win 20-10. And then the Saints and the Patriots, another two bad teams. Not doing the best this year. Another low-scoring game, but this time I'm going to say Saints 13, Patriots 7. How about you, Chris?
So, in the Steelers versus Browns game, I got the Steelers winning 24-17. The Browns just traded away Joe Flacco, and they have a rookie starting at quarterback, so I don't know how that's going to go. But Steelers have a good defense, so I think they're going to win. And in the Rams versus Ravens game, I got the Rams winning 27-17. It seems like, whenever you hear the Ravens, you think that they're gonna score a lot, but over the past few weeks they haven't been scoring a lot. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, I picked for my first game the Chargers and the Dolphins. I think, as Cooper mentioned earlier, the Dolphins, they keep finding ways to lose. I think they're going to continue to do that. I have final score 42-31 Chargers, and then I've got the Bills-Falcons. I think this could be a pretty even matchup, coming down right to the end of the fourth quarter there, maybe even the last possession of the game. I got the Bills 27 and the Falcons 24. That's going to wrap us up for Season 4, Episode 3. Make sure tomorrow night, tune into the Somers versus Carmel varsity football game. If you can't be there in person, it will be on our YouTube channel, same channel as this, as you're seeing this video. And that's going to be it from us for today. We are the Somers Sports Broadcasting Club. See you next week.